So can we get to know you, please, and what you do?
Okay, my name is Banke Claude-Wilcox. I'm a wellness expert, I'm a personal trainer and a nutritionist. And so basically I train people exercising and I also give them nutritional advice. I work with people of different ages and with different ailments as well. People with high blood pressure, people with arthritis, multiple sclerosis, So I work with different types of people, just basically trying to encourage them to be healthy.
Pretty good,
Yes.
pretty good. So you have been in business for so long.
Yes.
And I want to ask you, like, what is this one lesson you learned while in business that you think you wish you had learned before starting out in business? That's one lesson you feel if you have figured out before you started business.
Oh, okay.
Probably,
I would say the financial part, the financial aspect, keeping records of your expenditure and things you purchase, your purchases and your stocks, things like that. I didn't really keep, in fact, just that whole financial aspects. And because now I'm having my accounts being audited now. So my auditor is telling me, you did this expense, how come, So I'm just learning things. I'm like, oh God, if I had known, I would not have spent this on that. I would have been more careful. I'll put this as a business, just I think that's the thing, that's the lesson that's for now that has really like, okay, if I had known this, I'd probably be more attuned to the financial aspect, which I think is an issue with a lot of women. I think I'm even better than most. I'm even having my accounts audited, even though my business is still young. Most people don't even have that. So thank God for that. Most people is 10, 20, maybe 10, 15 years, they realize, this kind of thing. So that's my lesson. I pay attention to the financial aspect of it.
good. So let's move on to
Okay.
this question. So you can just dip your hand and just randomly.
Are you serious?
Like I said, you
Just
can take your time to because you can read it out.
It's interesting. What do you mean business that scale? What do you mean that excel? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, how do you think we can get more business,
More ladies
more
into
ladies into business that scale in Africa, meaning in large quantities? How do you think we can bring in more young ladies into doing entrepreneurship the right way? How do you think so?
I think when maybe when they see more success stories, which there are, maybe when it's more in there, it depends on what is in your face more. If you see a lot of women who are success stories doing their work the right way, you too, you'll be inspired. You say, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. But if the examples that you see in front of you are people who are probably maybe making their own money the wrong way, so to speak, you think this is all there is. I'm a woman. Maybe I should just marry one rich man and just sit at home, look for one aristo somewhere. If that's what that's what you see, that's what you do. So I just think exposure, maybe more women, and then more exposure to more successful women. I think, will encourage other women. That's what I feel.
Very good. So let's go to the next one.
Am I answering all of them?
Not all of them.
Okay.
So you can just read it out.
It says, when you are not working, what do you do in your leisure period? How do you recreate yourself? Okay, why I laughed is when I'm not working, I try to sleep. I try to sleep when I'm not working, and then I just hang out with my friends, and then my family and friends. Yes, so that's what,
Okay, awesome.
that's what I do.
Lastly, there's probably one young lady looking at you right now. Probably thinking, I think I like a business like nutritionist. I like to go into some line of business. So what would you advise that 18-year-old, that 22-year-old young woman who is sitting in Zambia, probably looking at you in YouTube,
Okay.
and asking, I want to be like you. What does it take for me to go?
Education.
How do you mean
Educate yourself in whatever area it is, nutrition, personal training. Educate yourself. Know your onions. Know what you're talking about. That will make you stand out from other people. Education and persistence. dedication, persist. If that's what you know you want to do in your heart, persist. There are days they're going to wake up and say, am I sure this is what I really want to do? Persist. Persist. Pray.
Pretty good. Pretty good. So what is one big lesson you have learned from this conference? This is Huawei Conference 2014. One new lesson you learned that you are taking home from this conference?
There's a lady that spoke. There's a lady that spoke earlier on, still on that same financial. I think Uju Iruku from Chapel Hill, Durham. Yeah, she spoke about the financial aspects, health insurance, how you should have a business plan, a personal plan, health insurance, getting a lawyer. She talked about so many. I mean, I think that's what I mean. I've learned a lot throughout, but that stood out a lot, and I've taken her number because I think that's another area where women, fail in, when it comes to the financial aspect.
So I just want to thank you.
All right then, thank you very much.
Thank you for having a chat.